dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. This kind of feeling you need to have when you watch one of my videos. No, but seriously, I'm in kind of a weird mood today. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. So just when I thought I was going to get away without having to do a vlog this week, I find out about all this stuff going on online that I need to address. So I figure I better put in an appearance, and since my my presence has been requested, well, you called down the thunder, well, now you got it. 2001. I was going to go see that tonight in 35mm. Come to find out, Warner Brothers has changed their policy on the film and decided to no longer loan out the prints of, or rent out the prints of 2001 in 35mm or 70mm. So they screwed the whole thing up. I'm sure Jim was trying to get the film in all the way up to the last minute. You know, I mean, they've done that plenty of times before. It's just part of the game, because you have to get the print from whoever played it last, you know. So I figured I'd stay at home, watch the classic on Blu-ray instead. And then I find out about these videos that have gone up calling out MVP and Streebo and Mutantville Players, but they all forgot to mention Mutantville.com. If you're going to call me out, at least mention the blog, the MVP blog, so everybody knows to go there. But where to even start? These things are kind of weird. See, I'll tell you the cool thing about my vault is at any given time I have something within reach that's just very, very cool. Like, this is Muty. What's up, bitches? He's from Mutish's Movie Morgue. Premiered back in October, Halloween night, actually. And over here, just got random props laying around. Check that out. It's from the set of my film, Ghost. Soon to be available on DVD and Amazon.com. Where did it start? See, that's how I take all of this. It's with a grain of salt, tongue-in-cheek, mind you. But where to start? I suppose the beginning was inauspicious enough. You know, I had a conversation with another YouTuber, Rambo Raff, and I left a comment on his video. He sent me a private message. I responded to him. My response pissed him off. So on and so forth. Long story short, I apologized to him for being a douche. He said it's cool. As far as I'm concerned, we're cool. There's no problem. Okay, but you called down the thunder, buddy. Well, now you got it. But CK, it's a different story, because you decided to play Captain Save-A-Ho for Rambo Raff for whatever reason. So that gives me free reign to respond to you, which is always fun. I always enjoy the MVP versus Dead Pit interactions, of which there have been several. This is an ongoing feud. Perhaps the best in all of the indie horror fandom landscape at present. But Creepy made a video stating, well, entitled Creepy Thoughts, Independent Filmmakers Where's the Beef, which, mind you, that's a good title. Kudos for that. I get the double meaning behind it. Very clever. And you know, I want to say up front, I don't have a beef with anybody. I mean, yeah, I like to talk about films and this and that, but I think what you're going to find as we talk about this is that we have a difference in ideologies. And that's why, you know, I can come across as a douchebag. Things are life and death with me. You know, I'm a general on the battlefield, you know, and, you know, with all due respect to CK and Uncle Bill, you know, they're hanging in the back. I'm out front in the trenches, you know, making movies, doing all these things. Making movies, doing my own podcasts, radio shows, YouTube videos, the blog. It goes on and on and on, all the way down to, you know, promoting screenings in theaters, you know, seasonally, or running the upcoming film festival this year in March. So that's called being in the trenches. But that's, you know, that's why I have to reach out to everybody and say, have you ever seen that movie Patton? You know, there's like this scene where George C. Scott is talking to the soldier, and the guy's like crying about the horrors of war, and he like slaps him in the back of the head, and he's like, "Fuck, you can be a man." That's what I feel like when it comes to my relationship with horror fandom. I don't know, the horror collective, the horror community. It's like, you people need to fucking stand up and do your part. Yeah. Now, I suppose the thing that pissed CK off was that in my private message to Rambo Raff that I named Dead Pit, and I said both Rambo Raff and Dead Pit hated everything. And, you know, obviously that's a generalization, but it's also out of context. You know, this was between a series of PMs over a couple days. It's not out in a public forum. And beyond that, I mean, Dead Pit's almost practically known for hating everything. I didn't know it was some kind of cardinal sin to talk about the fact that they hate so much stuff. Somebody that actively goes out of their way to hate filmmakers. And at a time when they were two of the best working in the genre, Eli Roth and Rob Zombie, they did everything they could to shit on both of them. So, and I'm talking about going beyond just the review. I mean, yeah, anybody has a right. If you're going to do this review game thing, do your review and put it out there and then move on. But you don't, you know, make it into a running gag. You revisit and like almost actively campaign. But, you know, I do think everybody does a lot of good for the genre. That's the whole thing. It's just that I think with some fine tuning, everybody can do a lot more for the genre and actually save it, resuscitate it, bring it back. And this goes beyond horror films too. I'm talking about all of them, science fiction, you know, all of our genres, you know, the stuff that we love, the crazy genre stuff. We can get some really amazing movies from out of the independent field. So anyway, Dead Pit hates everything. That's an overgeneralization, but when you guys painted yourself into a corner, and to be fair, you know, everybody throws at me the response that Streebo loves everything, you know, and it's been said time and time again, and people use that as a way to kind of try to dismiss my opinion on anything. And, you know, I really will review and critically break down a movie, you know, and I did like a 26-page thesis on Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I challenged everybody to, you know, to debunk it, you know. Dead Pit didn't take up the challenge, but so if I'm the guy that loves everything, you're the guy that hates everything, you know. That's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. That's the way the game is playing out. And we all have to play the cards that we're dealt, so to speak. Another one of your thoughts. A lot of stuff has been bad the last few years. I'm like, man, you know, I loved movies in 2012. You know, horror films and beyond. And I have to say, I love the way that horror films have kind of infiltrated a lot of other media and even different genres of film. Like if you look at The Dark Knight Rises, there's a lot of horror film elements in that movie, or also The Dark Knight in particular. The Joker's practically a horror film character running around. You know, and these kind of things are really cool. But man, in 2012, Prometheus was off the fucking charts. Beyond the Black Rainbow was an incredible cult hit. You know, it's something we reviewed twice on MVP Mutant Radio, now available on iTunes. And it's not a Dead Pit imitator, by the way. But, because believe it or not, I mean, I was recording my own MP3s and shit and giving them out to my casting crew before I ever even heard of Dead Pit. But, again, there's no beef. It's a difference in ideologies. I think they do a good job with what they do, but by actively not supporting the independent genre, they're not doing as good as they could be doing. You know, I mean, there's kind of a utopia to be had over the hill, but, you know, I don't know. I'll be honest with you early. I don't think that will ever be achieved, so I'm not really trying to rally for it, because I don't think people will ever agree. They won't get along. It won't happen. Somebody always has to upset the apple cart, shit in the bed. It always happens. All right. You know, Prometheus was Academy Award nominated already, man. Plus, Cabin in the Woods was a shit ton of fun. And then, I mean, if you're a sci-fi fan, obviously, well, Prometheus. That's the great thing about that movie. It works both ways. And superhero fans last year, we had a fucking blast. So it's just a great time for genre movies in particular. You know, from Chronicle to Dread to The Avengers to The Dark Knight Rises to the people that liked The Amazing Spider-Man, which wasn't me, but that's the whole point. You don't see me actively, like, campaign about it or anything. But, again, these are over generalizations. I just think I try to model, you know, my activities and the way I do things in a way I think everybody should kind of do it. And it's like if we all did it in step and kind of helped each other along the way, that everybody can benefit from it. Everybody. All right, CK says, my question to you is, where the fuck are they? Well, they're out there, man. They're out there, you know, and that's the cool thing about it. They are out there. There are filmmakers out there making cool fucking movies right now. You know, I'd love to say to you, I'm one of them, but I don't give a shit. You know, people, I just want them to watch the movie, then they can either love or hate it and, you know, decide their opinion about me later, you know. But, you know, Patrick Ray, Scott Goldberg, Michael Sharp, Robert W. Fillion, the list goes on and on of just names of independent filmmakers, and that's just like some regional ones and locally and around, you know, the country, and they're out there, and the whole point is that they're making movies and people need to talk about it. You know, we talked about Nailbiter on MVP Mutant Radio last year. We brought Patrick Ray in before the Fright Night Film Fest. I know that Dead Pit interviewed Patrick Ray back in the day. I mean, that was literally where I first heard his name from. But, you know, if they're not going to keep doing that, keep helping some people at least, then, you know, we're not going to hear about any of these people. These people are going to be out there in this void, and they're going to be making movies that nobody will see. And it's only by us as fans just being honest. The whole point is that you don't have to look at a piece of shit movie and say it's great. Just look at the good stuff and enjoy it for what it is, and let the fan in you that's still there, the fan that as a kid discovered things new and unusual and unexpected and fell in love with it, and you can do it again. It's out there. It's around the corner. One of the points brought up was nostalgia, because I said nostalgia is a pit that people fall into. They look too much to the past. Let's take, you know, Friday the 13th, for example. You know, I mean, how many times do we need to talk about it, or how many books do we need to read about it? That's just a simple example. But, you know, because falling into nostalgia where we only look at the past or only look at the classics, we never, again, it's all a process of discovery, a process of a voyage of discovery. We never find the new great films that are out here, that are being made today. You know, and there's plenty of them. And nostalgia is a trap. It's a trap. You know, and Rambo Raff said that if you don't learn from history, you're destined to repeat it, or doomed to repeat it. You know, we definitely learn from history at MVP. We make it a part of everything we do, and that's the whole point. Is we're all part of this social media and all this YouTube and Twitter generation and Facebook and all of this stuff, and we're connected instantly. And it only takes the click of a button to instantly interact with each other. And by doing that, we give each other support by sharing each other's videos, by commenting, liking, favoriting, and we support each other. And it took what? A second. And you do that for the people that you're supporting and you just move forward. You pay it forward. Everybody pays it forward. But again, it'll never happen. Never fucking happen. All right, here's the model MVP. On Monday, if you go to mutantville.com, it's called Mutantville Mondays. It's just general news. That's where, if we're going to talk about a specific independent film being made, you know, regionally or nationally, if it's like a big surprise news, like the Evil Dead remake, when that was announced, that was like, wow, big shock. You know, we'll announce it there. Or if we're going to focus on a local filmmaker, we'll have a story there. You know, it's kind of just the news section. Tuesday, Trailer Park Tuesday. That means a trailer for a new film coming out. Wednesday, Collector's Corner. That's memorabilia, where we find like cool deals on eBay or Amazon or whatever of just cool collectible shit, of which I have plenty, you know, in here. I don't know what I have within reach. Here, I'll get nerdy. My Jack Skellington, for example, or Rorschach. But anyway, you know, something like that. We'll point out cool collectibles that we found online. Thursday, Inspirational Filmmaker Quote Day. You know, we'll post awesome quotes from filmmakers that have done it, that have gone from guerrilla filmmakers to student filmmakers to low budget filmmakers to big budget filmmakers to mega budget filmmakers. You know, guys like Sam Raimi, who went the full course, you know. The full course. Who filmed where? Here in North Carolina, by the way. Just FYI. What else? Well, he says a lot of backyard films are Z-level. They're trauma-style in independent movies. They're trauma-style independent movies, barely passable. Well, it's true. A lot of them are. But you know what? That's what they made fucking trailers for. That's what they made covers for. I mean, look at the thing. Does it look like a piece of shit, or does it look like something worth watching? I mean, I don't watch anything that doesn't interest me, you know. Like Desdemona 6. This is one of the films that I recommended to Rambo Raff, who said he'd never heard of it. Because why? Because people don't talk about it, you know. That's why. But, you know, just saying, hey, check out Desdemona 6. You know, there you go. If you PM me, maybe I'll tell you where to see it. Tales from Mutantville. Chest Scarecrow at Midnight. Another film I mentioned to Rambo Raff. Which is one of my own, because I'm a shameless fucking whore. Troll Hunter. That was a cool independent, you know, top bottom level. What is that? Low budget, high budget filmmaker, you know, a real low budget filmmaker with movies played, you know, internationally and at a national level here in America. But at the same time, you know, yeah, man, I've had my movie Scarecrow at Midnight has played multiple times in theaters where people have come in and paid to watch it. So what more I mean, at what point does one become a filmmaker? That's what the game is about. It's putting your movie out there to let people watch it, and especially to pay to see it. Alright, what else? Oh shit, I was going down the MVP blog. I didn't even finish it. Fridays with MVP, that's another news day. You know, and also we have our individual blogs that we do during the middle of the week, where each one of us will have just our own whatever is going on with us kind of post. Saturday, Scary Movie Saturday, where I post links to full movies on YouTube where you can just go watch them, you know, because Saturday's always a day for watching movies for me. I don't know about you. Sunday is Classics Corner, where we talk about a classic film. Last week we talked about Audition. You know, this whole thing is like a fucking chess game, guys. You got to think beyond just your part. Well, I mean, that's the whole point. What I was saying earlier about the utopia is there's not going to be one. Everybody's not going to think beyond their part. But you know, I do. That's where I come in. You know, I'm trying to fucking lay a game out for you guys to follow, to take us all where we need to go. And, you know, I know you're not going to go along for the ride. It's obvious. I mean, CK said he didn't even watch Scarecrow at Midnight. You know, I never asked him to review it on Dead Pit. I just gave him a copy and said, you know, watch it. If you enjoy it, let me know. You know, I mean, there's my cover. I mean, ask you, viewer watching right now, do you want to see this movie? Does this look like anything that would interest you? You know, it's a horror anthology, not a full-length feature, but an anthology linked together like Creepshow or Tales from the Dark Side, the TV show, that kind of thing. Do you want to see it? I mean, that's all it takes. Is, are you interested in it? You know, I look at Troll Hunter. How awesome does that look? I mean, to me, it looks awesome anyway. I love Troll Hunter. You know, Desdemona 6. Killer car movie. Who doesn't love killer car movies? Come on, seriously. Nobody's ever heard of it. But yeah, big budget. Well, indie films are mostly rehashes of big budget movies that were better. Well, it's true. There's a lot of people making shitty product out there. But again, that's the challenge I put out, not only to people that are reviewers and, you know, radio show personalities or podcast hosts or, you know, forum hosts, whatever you want to call yourself, you know, a fan reviewer. Doesn't matter. The challenge goes out to everybody, even the creative individuals, especially. Step up your game. Keep making the best fucking product you can and then put it out there to people. Put it out there. You cannot light a fucking fire and put it under a bushel. You got to put it, light it and put it out where everybody can see it. And do your best. I mean, look at this shirt for Devil Comes Down. It's pretty cool. That's our zombie film. Does it make you want to see it? That's the whole point. This is the game. I'm not sitting here begging, oh, please watch my movie, watch my movie. No, this is how the game is played. I'm doing my part. I'm making the graphics. I'm doing the images. I'm coming up with covers. You know, I'm trying to give you cool titles, cool concepts. If you actually watch the fucking movies, you know, maybe you will dig them. But not begging. No. We don't play it like that. Let's see. He mentions Patrick Ray, Lucky McKee can't escape direct-to-video. Well, I mean, why do they need to escape direct-to-video? Patrick Ray is on the verge of making it to where he can get budgets to make movies. That's the whole point, is to just get a budget to make a movie. Lucky McKee is still making movies, you know. I mean, The Woman was promoted everywhere last year. You could get it on Blu-ray, and it did have a limited theatrical run. It just wasn't widespread, so. But talented independent filmmakers who will not be at conventions shilling their shit. Well, you will see a lot of filmmakers, but Lucky McKee and Patrick Ray, I've met them both at conventions, so they're all out there. They're doing the same thing. The thing about conventions is it's not even to meet the fans, because what have I been saying? There is no utopia. The fans are never going to be like, whoa! The point is to just put yourself out there to be in that right place at the right time, hopefully. And when somebody comes by and it's the right person that has the right connections to help you get to that next point in your whole journey, you know, help you get closer to your destination. Though, I do want to say that that's not entirely true for me to say it's not about the fans, because I do enjoy interacting with the fans. Actually, every convention I go to, if I only feel like I make one fan, you know, a day, for all the time I put sitting out there at the table, I always feel like it's worth it. It's just so cool just to talk to people who are responding to our work on a creative level, you know, and just telling us what's good or bad about it. I mean, that's what the whole game is about. That's what the game is about. And I pride myself on being original. I've been a big fan of Dead Pit for a long time, but I mean, you know, they're a radio show which is in support to everything else that we do. I mean, yeah, they also promote and whatnot, and I love the fact that the Dead Pit guys do the East Kentucky Fear Fest. I mean, I love that they're putting on real 35mm screenings of classic films, and that's awesome. And if I lived nearby, I would go, because that's what I do here. I go and see 35mm retro screenings all the time, whether it's in Durham, over in Charlotte, plus, you know, new stuff. So that's the whole point, you know. You have to pay respects to the past, but at the same time, you got to keep your eye open for the future, because people seem to think, you know, it's like Night of the Living Dead's been made, Halloween's been made, you know, all these movies have been made, and there's no A Nightmare on Elm Street, and there's no new ideas out there to be found, to be had anywhere. It's like, dude, that's bullshit. I mean, there's always new ideas, because everything's essentially already been done before, somewhere, somehow, you know. And as long as the human race is here, stories will keep coming out. They'll keep, you know, being put out to the world in one form or another, whether it's a YouTube video or a movie or a podcast, you know. I mean, we all have our own expressions. So, but yeah, love everything they see. I mean, you guys pin me with that all the time and try to dismiss my opinions, so I don't know. But so again, I'm getting confrontational, but there's no big, it's difference in ideologies. Plus, I've got to get everybody in step. You know, it's just the way I roll. Hate on something like Halloween. Yeah, you guys did hate on Halloween. You took a big shit on it, and it just wasn't cool. I mean, to me, that kind of stuff drives fans away. You know, it started to drive me away from Dead Pit. You know, and I was just reacting as a fan. You know, fan of the show. So, you know, I was a big fan. I've always been a big fan of Dead Pit because they did support independent horror for so long. Because I did find about guys like Scott Goldberg and Patrick Ray on there, and I just thought that was awesome. But you know, now they've kind of turned their back on their roots. But again, no utopia. Nobody. People aren't going to fall in line. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is this video is out there, and like fucking Sunmay and Cloud Atlas. You know, the message goes out and becomes whatever it becomes. But I'm running out of time with my video length, so. But they don't want to watch indie stuff anymore. Burnt too many times. You can't compare movies today to Halloween Phantasm. Well, you can. Look at the Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity. You may not want to admit it, but the budgets are getting smaller and smaller and closer to the micro-budget level. So it's just around the corner. You can see the end is coming into sight, fellas. I mean, digital is the way of the future. George Lucas, Robert Rodriguez, innovators. Studios are Roger Corman shooting on digital. You know, studios will begin to realize over and over that it's cheaper, it's more effective. You know, there are a lot of processes that are cut out by just shooting straight to digital. There are no conversions involved. So I love 35mm. Again, you know, I'm bummed out I was going to go see 2001. You know, I mean, ultimately, here we get to the bottom. So you can't compare those and blah, blah, blah. You're a fan making films for fans. Go to New York or Hollywood. Well, you know, you just got to be smart where you are. I'm in Charlotte, or outside Charlotte, actually. There's a burgeoning film industry here. I've worked on sets and been paid to be there. You know, I'll shoot behind-the-scenes videos or whatever it is that they need me to do. You know, and yeah, that puts me inside the business. And there are, you know, there's studios, you know, go out to Wilmington. They shot TV shows out there forever. They shot The Crow out there. You know, Evil Dead 2 was filmed here in North Carolina. Cabin Fever. Speak of our good buddy Eli Roth and the people that Dead Pit guys definitely don't. One of the guys that they definitely don't hate. But to me, see, this is where the difference in ideologies comes into play. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to stop this. Hold on. The difference being is that the goal is to be some big mega star like the next, you know, literally Tarantino, and have like an Inglourious Bastards that makes a shit ton of money worldwide, or, you know, his Pulp Fiction. But the goal is to just make movies. Make the movies and to put them out there. Make something good. And you put it out there. The internet is ubiquitous now. That means it's every fucking where. Movies are streaming on Netflix every day. The new method of viewing your movie, your story. This is part of the medium. You got to understand the medium is the massage. You know, go back and that's McLuhan. You know, there's all kinds of shit involved that we need to think about, talk about moving forward. But, you know, doesn't give Streebo a reason to be a douche. Thanks for listening to this, guys. You know, I've tried to offer my side to everything. I say just keep doing what you do. I'll try not to badmouth anybody. Hope you do the same. And if you got any more questions for me, feel free to let me know. Visit me at Mutantville.com. I'm there every day. And Twitter at MVPLAYERS, MV Players. We're all around, all around. We are the sky, we are the earth. We're like Crom and Conan. Here's the mountains. Yeah, so there you go. Alright, this is Streebo, MVP, Mutantville.com. Visit me there. Thanks for watching. See ya.